we have to work more as a generation. Cost of living's expensive, and I think there's more of a pressure on mums to have a career than they used to be. But I think the balance is so difficult it's like schools haven't quite caught up with the fact that parents work more than I think that they used to, and it's so difficult. I remember once when my little one started school, there was a teddy bears picnic thing and the parents were invited to, and it was not long after she'd started, and it was more of a come and see where your child goes to school, come and see some of their friends, and you basically bought a teddy, sat in the playground, your kid bought out a sandwich they'd made at school, which nobody wants to eat, do they? I look forward to getting tuberculosis from this jam sandwich. And I remember the letter they sent out, it was like, we'd love all parents to come because it will give your child a sense of pride. If you're not able to come, please let us know so that we can emotionally support your child on the day. And I did go, but I thought that's such a... I get what they're trying to say. I get that they're trying to, look out for the children, but I thought, God, what an emotional... It's like emotional blackmail. So just in case you didn't feel bad enough about the fact that you can't come anyway, just let us know so that we can make sure that your child's not emotionally damaged from the fact that you didn't bring a bear to school for 20 minutes. Now, I read this thing the other day, I don't know how true it is, but it was something like, parents work more than ever, there's more pressure than ever, yet we spend more quality time with our kids as a generation than our parents did.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I wonder if that's partly because there is a bit more flexibility at work than there used to be.
Maybe.
So,
yeah.
I don't know about your parents, but mine, it was very similar setup. My mum had a part-time job, I think, once we got a bit older, but certainly when we were still struggling to talk and walk in a straight line, she was at home full-time.
Yeah, my mum was when I was really little, yeah.
Yeah, but Dad would be gone by like 5 a.m, and we wouldn't see him again until sort of 7:30, 8 o'clock. Part of that was because he had quite a long commute. Whereas these days, you can work pretty much the same hours without any of that travel time, so you get more time at home.
Yeah.
Or you can just work remote full time, and so it's, I don't know, maybe there is a bit of a shift there for the better. Yeah.
You can't just go from dropping off a crying child at school straight into work mode 5 minutes later, and I can't anyway, and not have it carry a bit of that through the day with you. I think it's quite unrealistic for people to expect that. Obviously, if it starts to become an issue, fine, but mornings are mental, and to go from one thing straight into another is quite difficult. And I think, employers need to sympathise with that a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think empathy is the key word here, I think. And it's something that, personally, I think any decent, good, great, effective leader is already doing that very well. But I do still keep hearing stories about people who aren't. And I do find it, whether it's because of a childcare thing or because parents are just juggling too many things, or whether it's like a bereavement or, I don't know, a mental health crisis, any number of these things, you still hear these stories of leaders who react basically, in fact, I don't even want to call them leaders, bosses, who react basically the way you'd expect a sociopath to react to that. It's like, what do you mean you've got feelings? Work isn't the place for those. Stop that at once. How dare you? Yeah. Why should I care? That's not my role. And it's just nonsense. Like, there's no empathy there. And also, like, just because you're a sociopath doesn't mean you should expect everyone who works for you to be one.
And I remember once he made this comment, he was like, we only hire good-looking people. And you kind of think, for anybody else, you'd joke, you'd laugh it off, but he was the kind of person that could make even the simplest comment sound a bit sleazy, because it was just part of who he was. I don't know if you've seen that episode of Friends where Joey's eating like a sandwich or something, and he says something, and Rachel was like, how do you make that sound dirty? And he was a bit like that. Whatever he said, it just came out with a bit of a sleazy undertone, because that was just personality as a whole. The staff turnover there is crazy, but it was always one of them where it was everybody else that was rubbish, never him.
Yeah. It's funny that, isn't it? I think it's the only way they can cope, by
Yeah,
making
it
everyone
was. It was
else's problem.
everybody else's rubbish at their job, let him down, and didn't know what they were doing. But it's like centre of it all, and it's all going wrong. But obviously, it's everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lack of self-awareness, isn't it? And
big time, yeah.
Self-reflection, and all these things that make good leaders. And it's I don't know. Is it a coincidence? Do you think that these kind of behaviours tend to go together in the same individuals? Could it be perhaps that self-aware, empathetic leaders, particularly male ones, don't tend to treat women that way? Is that a coincidence? I don't think it is, if I'm honest.
No, I don't think it is. No, I don't think it is either. But I'm well rid of there anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And good to hear your current manager is much, much better and not at all like that as well. We should just underline that again in case you're listening. Yeah.
I like that bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll make a social clip out of that.
Yeah. Success is different for different people. For some people, it's career progression. For other people, it's having that flexibility and being able to work from home sometimes. It might not be that they're actually wanting a promotion, but they just, for them, success is being able to go to school things without feeling bad about it, or having the option to work from home on a Friday because they need to do a school pick up. I think success is a personal thing.
Yeah, it is. And I think, the same is true of family as well. I think, again, there's a few leaders over the years that I've encountered where family had a very different meaning to them, to the point that they'd actively avoid it and therefore wouldn't understand it when others had a family first kind of mindset. So they found it quite difficult to display that flexibility because they just didn't understand it. It's like, in their mind, family was a bad thing to be avoided. Why would you want time off work for it? But there's that, again, goes back to what you were saying. It's seeing people as the individual, understanding their specific context. Just because something is true for you as the leader doesn't mean it's true for the team or any individual within that team either, if it comes to that. So, and again, I always go back to, you're never going to know that difference or that context if you don't ask the questions.
Yeah.
And again, so many leaders fall down at that. They don't ask. They don't say, what's important to you? What do you need?
Yeah.
What can I do to help you succeed? All of these they sound quite sort of vague questions, but they start conversations that lead you to these answers that you need.
And I think they mean a lot. I think a lot of the time people are just on autopilot, trying to get things done, trying to get kids to school, get stuff sorted, life admin, and they're just almost like robotic and going through the motions. And when somebody actually sits down and says, "Are you okay?" It means quite a lot that someone's taken the time to actually ask.